Breaking news, Justin Baldoni is officially suing both Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, along with their PR firms, in a mega lawsuit that's 180 pages that even brings in Taylor Swift and how she tried to pressure Justin to make the movie Blake wanted. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. Guys, this is big news. We are going to have to go through this later today during our live because it's 180 pages. Guys, it is filled with text messages, emails, a ton of stuff, as you can see, that even I haven't had a chance to fully digest yet. I want to do it with you guys live later, but I didn't want to wait an hour or two to read all this before we reported this massively breaking news, which is, yes, Justin, through Wayfarer, they are now suing Blake and Ryan Reynolds and their PR firms. We have a quote also from their lawyer, from Justin's lawyer, Brian Friedman. Here's what he said. This lawsuit is a legal action based on an overwhelming amount of untampered evidence detailing Blake Lively and her team's duplicitous attempt to destroy Justin Baldoni, his team, and their respective companies by disseminating grossly edited, unsubstantiated, sorry, I can speak, new and doctored information to the media. It is clear, based on our own all-out willingness to provide all complete text messages, emails, video footage, and other documentary evidence that was shared between the parties in real time, that this is a battle she will not win and will certainly regret. Blake Lively was either severely misled by her team or intentionally and knowingly misrepresented the truth. Miss Lively will never again be allowed to continue to exploit actual victims of real harassment solely for her personal reputation gain at the expense of those without power. Let's not forget, Miss Lively and her team attempted to bulldoze reputations and livelihoods for heinously selfish reasons through their own dangerous manipulation of the media before even taking any legal action. We know the truth, and now the public does too. Justin and his team have nothing to hide. Documents do not lie. Oof. Look, I said it before, I'll say it again. This lawsuit by Blake, originally the complaint, whatever she did, was the dumbest move she could have ever done. And it truly showed her ego. For her to claim that she had nothing to do with her own power-hungry attempt to steal the movie and everything else, it was just laughable to me. And as we've now learned from Justin's previous response, a lot of this, the context matters. So now we're going to finally get a taste to see what actually happened from Justin's point of view with text, with emails. I'm very interested to read all of this. The following story is not one plaintiffs ever wished to tell. Unfortunately, defendant Blake Lively has unequivocally left them with no choice, not only to set the record straight in response to Lively's accusations, but also put the spotlight on the parts of Hollywood that they have dedicated their careers to being the antithesis of. That task was always going to be an uphill battle. They never imagined they would encounter it to this degree. Had Lively chosen to merely ride out the self-inflicted press catastrophe she faced in August, the public would have likely moved on and never known the truth about her. They would have never known that she deliberately and systematically robbed plaintiffs of their movie. No one except the parties involved would have known that she used threats and extortion to relegate the colleagues she once highly praised to a basement to sit out their own premiere, while she enjoyed the spotlight of her premiere and after party that was ultimately co-financed by both Justin's company and Sony. She would have gotten away with these things and more because Baldoni focused entirely on seeing the film succeed, would have held his tongue as he had through the year and a half that Lively tormented him, his family, and his partners. But Lively could not tolerate her publicly tainted image even for a moment, and further could not accept that it was entirely of her own making. She needed a scapegoat, and rather than admit and take accountability for her own missteps, she chose to blame plaintiffs in a malicious and unforgivably public manner. When she and Reynolds could not force Baldoni and Wayfarer to read a statement she and her representatives prepared, extorting them to take accountability in defense of Lively's actions, she lay in wait for months, preparing to publicly attack Baldoni by falsely claiming that he had SH'd her. The same falsified stories she had calculatingly devised and used throughout the production of this film in order to take control were now being used publicly to destroy Baldoni and plaintiffs. Lively stole Wayfarer's movie, hijacked the premiere, destroyed plaintiffs' personal and professional reputations, livelihood, and aimed to drive plaintiffs out of business entirely. Further, appears that Lively worked for months with the equally powerful New York Times to prepare a false and damaging narrative to deploy against plaintiffs. Not surprisingly, she prepared an administrative complaint with Civil Rights Department of California in an attempt to use the litigation privilege to shield her behind-the-scenes conspiracy with the New York Times. But upon information and belief, the CRD complaint was filed only after defendants spent months feeding falsehoods to the New York Times, intending to damage plaintiffs. Look, this is a big deal. Make no mistake, these actions were deliberate. Plaintiffs now have no choice but to fight back armed with the truth and a mountain of concrete evidence disproving Lively's allegations. Heartbreakingly, a film that Baldoni envisioned years ago would honor the survivors of DV by telling their story with the lofty goal of making a positive impact in the world has now been overshadowed beyond recognition solely as a result of Lively's actions and cruelty. It goes on and goes on, guys. This is a long piece that we're going to go through, but I want to spotlight this one moment where, Justin's implying that he used Taylor Swift and Ryan to pressure Justin to sort of do what he wanted, what she wanted in the film. So an example, early in pre-production, Lively sent Baldoni a long text describing how directors never permitted her to write scenes for the movies she acted in, nor gave her writing credits, even making her hand scribble her suggestions for lines so they could not be traced to her. Lively boasted that she had, because there's union rules, Blake. Your husband should know about that. He's a writer. Lively boasted that she had even written for her husband's movies. Then but I don't see credit on them, Blake, so interesting. Then Lively asked if she could take a pass at writing the rooftop scene. It ends with us, with Riley and Lily first meet. This pivotal scene, much beloved by book fans, was critical for setting the tone for the movie. It is a very important scene where they meet. Baldoni, sorry, I know I'm saying this wrong. I'm trying. Baldoni was reluctant to allow an actor without a union screenwriter credit to rewrite this key scene, but felt he needed to allow Lively to do it and agreed to take a look at what she put together. The draft of the rooftop scene by Lively dramatically differed from what had been written originally. Baldoni was hesitant about many of the changes, but thanked her for her passion and diplomatically told her that the scene would likely end up being somewhere between the original and Lively's, which is usually how it works. Seemingly stung by Baldoni's exceedingly mild resistance, Lively did not respond and went silent for days. Later, she confirmed in a text message below that Baldoni's response, of course, didn't feel great for me or another mega celebrity friend, Taylor Swift, and Ryan Reynolds, to have my passion praised instead of my specific contribution. Lively was referring to an earlier meeting where Lively summoned Baldoni to her New York penthouse, where Baldoni was greeted by Ryan, who launched into enthusiastic praise for Lively's version of the scene, which we later found out Ryan wrote. Hours later, at the meeting was ending, a famous and famously close friend of Reynolds and Lively walked into the room and similarly began praising Lively's script. Baldoni understood the subtext. He needed to comply with Lively's direction for the script. So imagine that. You're sitting in a penthouse, you're making a movie that's your movie. It's not Blake's movie, it's your movie. And then Ryan Reynolds is suddenly, Blake's scene is so good, what are you doing? And then she has Taylor Swift walk in. Yeah, Blake's scene's definitely much better. So now Justin must be an idiot for not agreeing with Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds, who, to be fair, are fantastic writers. I'm not going to deny them of that. But what a weird power struggle. Like, what an attempt to bully and push Justin to agree to said scene. Baldoni understood the subtext. He needed to comply. Baldoni felt obliged to text Lively to say that he liked her pages and hadn't needed Reynolds and her mega celebrity friend to pressure him. Lively responded that the two were her dragons. Lively went on to say, Taylor, it's revealed in the text later, it's Taylor. Also know I'm not always good at making sure I'm seen and utilized for fear of threatening egos or fear of affecting the ease of the process. They don't give an S about that. And because of that, everyone listens to them with immense respect and enthusiasm. So I guess I have to stop worrying about people liking me. I don't know. The message could not have been clearer. Baldoni was not just dealing with Lively, he was also facing Lively's dragons, two of the most influential and wealthy celebrities in the world, who were not afraid to make things very difficult for him. And as the text reveal, I did not need Ryan and Taylor to tell me. They slyly reveal it's clearly Taylor Swift. So look, there's a lot of context here that's mattered. And here's Blake even saying how excited. There's so much text in here that sort of shows the opposite of what she was worried about this monster, and more about her trying to be seen and trying to use her celebrity friends to be seen. I'm sorry, Blake. What the hell are you doing? You're the actress. You're the actress on the film, on a film that Justin's directing, starring in, and got the rights to the book. He should have control of this film, not you. I don't care who your famous friends are. And look, I don't know what happened on set with Justin. You're going to need to prove it on your own, Blake, with your own in this lawsuit. But the fact that all this is coming out to see that there really was a pressure from not only Blake, but her celebrity friends to get Justin in line or else is not a good look. Look, this is the tip of the iceberg of what this document is. We are going to go through in our live. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe, and more importantly, hit that notification, because we're going to go live in about an hour or so and read this entire thing with you. You're not going to miss this stream. We're going to react live together. I just want to prep a little bit, and I wanted to give you a taste of what's to come, because this is big, big news. Stay tuned. A lot more is coming. Join us live in a little bit. I hope to see all of you in. Let's do this live together this afternoon. This is going to be a doozy. What do you guys think? In the meanwhile, let me know in the comments down below. Stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Planet.